You've tried every trick in the book to lose weight. Keto, intermittent fasting, weight loss shakes, even starving yourself, but everything you try just doesn't seem to work. By the end of this video, you'll figure out why you're not losing any weight, and I'm gonna give you a step-by-step weight loss guide so you don't have this problem anymore. First step is to be in a calorie deficit, but we need to figure out how many calories is a calorie deficit for you. Make sure you grab a pen and paper because I want you to write this down. I want you to track all the calories you eat and drink over 2 weeks. Don't change anything from your diet. Keep everything the same. If you're wondering how to track your food, I like to use MyFitnessPal. It's pretty easy, and you'll need a little food scale to weigh your food so you know exactly how much you're putting into your body and how many calories you're eating. This is very important. And whilst you're tracking your food, I also want you to track your weight. I like to weigh myself first thing in the morning so there's less room for error, because if I weigh myself in the morning versus the evening, I'm probably gonna be a little bit more heavy in the evening because I've had a lot of food that day, bit of water, maybe I haven't gone to the toilet, I don't know. Just there's so many different variables that can change the weight. After you've tracked your weight and your food for 2 weeks, I want you to add these numbers up, separately though, not together, and find the average of this number. If you don't know how to do that, you're gonna add all those numbers up and just divide it by 14 because there was 14 days there. That's why we're dividing it by 14. Now we need to figure out what your body weight did at the beginning versus the average number that we've got now. If your body weight trended up, that means you're in a calorie surplus. If your body weight trended down, that means you're in a calorie deficit. If your body weight stayed around the same, this is your maintenance calories. Since you were eating just how you would usually eat, we should be around your maintenance calories. Now this is an important part. If your maintenance calories are low, for a male, I don't like to go under 2,000, and for females, I don't like to go under 1,500. I wouldn't recommend to go in a calorie deficit if your maintenance calories are around this or even lower. Because if you want to lose some weight or body fat, you need to drop your calories down. And you don't have a lot of calories to drop from. If my maintenance calories are around 2,000 and I wanted to lose weight, I probably have to drop my calories down to 1,700 or even down to 1,500. That's not a lot to go from. This is where so many people go wrong with their weight loss journey. Their maintenance calories are so low. In order for them to go in a calorie deficit, they have to drop down even lower. But the problem is they've got nowhere to drop because their maintenance is already so low. And what happens from here is they try to stay in this calorie deficit, but they're eating like little birds and they can't sustain it. They go back to how they were eating before or even more food. And the problem with this is if your body was so used to so little calories, it's much easier for you to store those calories as extra body weight or body fat because your body was so used to the little calories. Just eating a little bit more double, which is actually not a lot, it's gonna be stored as extra weight. And they try this process again, drop their calories down, but they can't sustain it. Then they eat more food and then we just end up in circles and circles. If you are someone that has a low maintenance calories, I would advise you to try and reverse out of this problem. Increase your calories a little bit, 200, 300, 400 maybe, and focus on getting stronger at the gym. Build a bit of muscle and keep doing this until you're at a good place to drop from. For a guy, I like to get around 3,000. For a female, 2,500, even 2,000 would be my lowest kind of ball. Now this is gonna seem counterintuitive because you're like,
Corey, I want to lose weight. Now you're making me eat more. This doesn't make any sense.
but you just gotta trust me, build your calories up. Yes, you may not lose any weight in this process, but just because you're gaining weight doesn't mean you're getting fatter. In fact, you can gain weight and get leaner. You can get less fat. You can gain weight and add muscle, but your body fat percentage can stay the same. Now the percentage of fat on your body has actually dropped because the weight that you gained wasn't fat, it was muscle. So now the percentage is a little bit different. Do you understand? You're catching what I'm throwing at you? So make sure you don't get too fixated on the weight. If it goes up, if it goes down, if it stays the same, the weight is irrelevant. We just need to get those calories up before we drop you back down into that calorie deficit. Having a higher maintenance is a huge bonus. It's like going shopping with more money. If I want to go out to dinner with my friends or my family, I can do it guilt-free because I've got more money in the bank to spend and I don't have to worry about going into overdraft. But if my calories were low, if my money was low, I'm gonna be a little bit more stingy with my money and I won't be able to eat so much. And if I did eat so much, I'm gonna go into overdraft, which I'm probably gonna get taxed on, which is you're gonna gain more fat on your body. You're getting taxed because you don't have enough money. Your calories are too low. It makes life so much more fun and stress-free because who the fuck likes tax? If you're serious about losing weight and about health and fitness, which you probably are because you've got this bar through the video, make sure you like and subscribe because I'm giving away free content weekly about health and fitness. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. Now your maintenance is in a good place, then we can drop you down into a deficit. I like to keep my deficit not too aggressive. I like to go 300 at the beginning. If nothing happens, then drop it down a little bit more. Keep it there for a bit. Your body will plateau again after a while, maybe a month or so, and then you'll need to drop it again. or you need to do some more exercise, either or. And when I mean drop your calories down again, I don't mean by another 500, because this is probably something that you won't be able to sustain. And we don't want to lose any muscle in this process by doing an aggressive cut. And this brings me to my next important step. You need to figure out how much protein you should be having. Your protein should always be high, even more so in this weight loss, fat loss, calorie deficit phase, because you want to preserve and hold on to as much muscle as you can. So when you lose all that weight, you've got some sexy shape to show off. A good goal is 2 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. Or if you're American, it's 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Now I will say if you're on the larger side and have quite an excess amount of body fat and your weight is quite high, maybe you just drop that number down. Maybe around 1.2 to 1.5 grams of protein per kilo of body weight, or 0.7 grams of protein per pound of body weight. I'm 100 kilos, so that's some quick, easy math to me. That's 100 times 2. That's 200 grams of protein I need to try and hit every day. Now you figured out your protein goal and how many calories you need for your protein. It's time to figure out the next essential thing, which is your fat intake. Protein and fats are essential for survival. And I like to get at least 20% of my calories from fat. Personally, I like to go a little bit higher because fats have a big impact on your hormones, which can play a big role in your muscle building and muscle retention process. For a female, I don't like to go below 50 grams of fat, and for a male, around 70 grams. So you have your calories from your protein and your fats. But what about my carbs, Corey? Where are my carbs at? Don't worry, I haven't forgot about those. You need to run an equation first. Let's use myself as an example. My maintenance is around 3,000 calories. I'm going to deduct my 200 grams of protein, which is 800 calories. Now I'm going to take away the calories from my fat, which is 80 grams, which is 720 calories, which leaves me with 1,480 calories. This 1,480 calories ends up being 370 grams I can use for carbs. But if you enjoy foods that are higher in fat, maybe you want to swap some of those calories from your carbs into fat. It's a personal preference, it's up to you. As long as you hit that minimum threshold, you can kind of play around with whatever you want to do. Maybe you want to have more protein, you want to get the gains, you want to have more steak. You can swap it around. It's up to you, as long as those numbers and metrics hit all those targets. So where was your oyster, really? Yes, I know I said 3,000 was my maintenance. I just wanted to show you the equation so you can figure out on your own. And hopefully you do after watching this video. You know what steps you need to take to get to where you need to be. Try keep your food 85% clean and 15% kind of whatever you want. That way you can hit your goals whilst enjoying the foods that you like and not being a sad sack and eating chicken and broccoli all the time. If you want this step-by-step guide, plus some nutrition plans, what supplements to take, how you can eat and go out with your friends and drink at the same time, check out the How to Create Your Diet book in the description. What are you still doing here? Go and apply those steps. Or if you want to learn some weight loss hacks, watch this video up here.